Got to talk about some injury news, and this is one that I think it's safe to say we got to move on or look for somebody else after this season. But Francisco Alvarez, we mentioned he hurt his thumb in the Little League Classic on Sunday in Williamsport. He hit a double, slid in the second, and tore ligaments in his thumb sliding into second base. Francisco Alvarez, this is the thumb on the same hand where he broke his wrist in spring training. Also, where he had the same hand that was also a broken hand last season. Francisco Alvarez has missed a lot of time. Let's look at the timetable here. This season in spring training, he breaks his wrist. He breaks his wrist, and he misses opening day. Doesn't play until June. Hayden Senger was the Mets' backup catcher in that little stretch of March when we played the Astros, and in April and in May. Luis Torrens was the starter prior to Alvarez coming back. Senger was the backup. Then Alvarez struggled mightily. The Mets sent him down in early July. They called Hayden Senger back up, and it was Torrens and Senger while Alvarez, while not injured, needed to work on his swing. Alvarez comes back, and now he has a torn tendon in his thumb. They're saying that he may or may not require surgery. He's going to be reevaluated in about a week, and if he can work through it, they'll wait till the off season to recommend surgery. But from the looks of things and from the reports that I've read, I think Alvarez is going to have surgery before the off season, just so he can be ready for next season. He's probably going to be done for the year. Bobby also thinks he might be done for the year. Bobby says the catching situation in Queens is sketchy. And it is, quite frankly, because Luis Torrens, although a great defensive catcher, he does not simply have the bat that Francisco Alvarez does. And Hayden Senger, now here's the thing about Hayden Senger. Hayden Senger is a feel-good story. Hayden Senger was a guy who, while he was in the minor leagues, he had a part-time job at Whole Foods stocking shelves. Everybody knows about it. He made the roster out of spring training this season on the opening day roster. When he was informed by Carlos Mendoza that he made the roster, he called his boss at Whole Foods to give him his notice that he was quitting. Never have to work a shift at Whole Foods again once you get to the big leagues. But Hayden Senger doesn't have a bat either. Hayden Senger played quite regularly in April and early May, and he didn't get his first career RBI till today. Senger is not a good bat. Senger's defense and his arm speed throwing runners out is pretty good, but Senger, his bat leaves a lot to be desired. I want to take a look at the Mets catcher production here. As Bobby says, Alvarez actually has been swinging a hot bat, but tough time he went down. So here's Hayden Senger. Hayden Senger on the season so far, batting below the Mendoza line at 163, no homers, 1 RBI, and he's had 49 at-bats this season, an OPS of .376. Again, Senger played in March, played a lot in April, a little in June, some in July, and had his first game in August today, as he's been in Syracuse more than he's been here in Flushing. But a Cinderella story doesn't get you results on the baseball field, unfortunately, and I like the kid a lot. And then you look at Luis Torrens, who not clutch at all, and he almost went down with a hand injury yesterday, catching Kodai Senga, but Torrens batting .210, 2 homers, 16 RBIs, .574 OPS. And then you look at Francisco Alvarez, who's going to be a missed sore spot at the bottom of the lineup. Although he strikes out more than one would like, Alvarez, his average is actually up there. 265 average, 7 home runs, 24 RBIs, OPS of .787. Now it begs the question, what do you do? Because it's too late in the season. You have 36 games left. What free agent catcher is out there? Matter of fact, I'm going to pull up the list. To see who would be available. No, nobody really. This is sad. This is really sad. This is really really sad. There, there's really no, and the trade deadline's gone. There's no catcher available. They're gonna have to tough it out with Torrens and Sanger. There's no current free agent catcher in MLB available right now that can actually make a difference. The only catcher available is Jacob Stallings, who has split time between Colorado and Baltimore this season. Stallings on the season, batting a meager 134, no homers, 9 RBIs this season, and 119 at bats. This season, he played 29 games in Colorado and 14 in Baltimore. He was designated for assignment on July 28th, and he elected by the Orioles. He elected free agency after he was designated for assignment from the Rockies on June 6th. He's the only big league catcher that could make a difference, and I don't even think he'll make a difference with those numbers. But yeah, Jacob Stallings is out there. That's the only option I could think of. But this catcher situation is murky. You cannot have a postseason run where you can't get any offensive production out of your catcher position. Sanger and Torrens give you great defense, but defense can only do but so much. But I wish Francisco Alvarez well. Hope he recovers, and I hope he can make it back to the bigs before the season is over.